All right. Hello.
Yeah, sorry about that. Looks like we're about a minute late, but we're getting rolling here.
Yeah, we're here. And yeah, it must be the scheduling season for Rivals of Ixalan.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that time.
That's right.
There's even more stuff this time to schedule.
Yeah. We'll give folks a little bit of time to get into the channel here. So yeah, we're going to be going over programs, explaining the importance of why you should be signing up for these. Hopefully some of you have already signed up for them, and others will be doing it immediately afterward.
Yeah, definitely.
If not during. Yeah, you're on your computer. Fire it up here.
Yeah, that's one thing. Seriously, after we're done here, go immediately to schedule your stuff. There is absolutely no reason to wait. Matter of fact, if you wait, there's a chance you miss, and it is way more difficult to fix a problem at that point.
Yeah, exactly. You can always make adjustments after you've scheduled. I mean, within the scheduling window, all you have to do is cancel it and reschedule it. And even after the fact, like if you need to change a format, like an FNM or something like that, no biggie. Give retail support a call. They're always going to be happy to help you with that.
Yeah, from experience, because I was in your shoes, like it's definitely better just go ahead and schedule up front, get it done, instead of getting busy, especially with other stuff coming up or preparing for your holiday things or whatever, and you just miss the date. And that's awful.
Yeah, we kind of like the schedule now, ask questions later mantra. Well, you can always make changes.
Well, hopefully there won't be too many questions because we're going to try to answer a lot of those.
Yep. But if any do arise, please feel free to just plop them right down in the comments there. We'll be answering them as they come. If you're watching this after we were live, of course, get at me in the Facebook group directly. By the way, I'm Nelson Brown, your community manager. I'll be happy to help you out.
Cool. And most of you know who I am. I'm Daquan Watson. I'm one of the marketing managers here at Wizards of the Coast.
Excellent. All right. And yeah, so we do have a few people in here, so let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And so first off, we're going to go through each of the programs that we have lined up for Rivals of Ixalan, and of course the store championship for Ixalan, because we haven't had the chance to schedule that. We are scheduling that right now with the Rivals of Ixalan programs. And keep in mind, all of these programs are designed to make a clean path for players, whether it's new players coming in and kind of finding their stride in the community, or giving consistent play options to your more engaged players.
Yeah, most definitely. This is definitely a series of events to carry them through the season. Mm-hmm. I think that sometimes people kind of can lose sight of that a little bit, but a lot of it is about taking them from the beginning, showing them how to play, getting them used to coming in, and kind of creating that habitual play in your store throughout the next 3 to 4 months.
Right. Yeah, and that's why we do encourage you to really schedule the full suite here, because the intention is that we're not leaving any holes for play opportunities that players would want to have in store.
For sure. Mm-hmm. So to start the season, we still have open house.
Yep.
Like the thing that everybody's come to get used to now at this point. Mm-hmm. And it's really still our best driver for getting new players through your front door. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely the place where people come in. It's easy to grasp, they get to walk away with something. Like, it's just a really good opportunity to engage those new customers.
That's right. And really not too much is changing. Obviously, we are going to have a new promo here. It's actually, we've revealed it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's that Silvergill Adept.
And it's pretty.
It's pretty. Yeah. It looks really good. And it's a pretty good card, too.
Oh, it's definitely a great card. It's definitely one that your players are going to want.
For sure. Yeah, and you will get those welcome decks as well. Comes with the standard amount of 20, but keep in mind on those, both for this event or just in general, we're always happy to keep you in stock. If you anticipate you think you need more on open house, give us a call. We'll get some sent.
Another thing too to really call out is that when you get these players in for open house, don't just let them walk away. Use that as an opportunity to tell them about other stuff going on in your store. Kind of tell them about the culture and your players. Get them engaged. More than just give them something and let them go. If nothing else, tell them about pre-release, and get them to come in for that the next week.
Yeah. Pre-release, Friday Night Magic, and Magic League are all great recommendations for someone who's brand new. And of course, the timing with open house is it's going to be right before those are all kicking off in the weeks following. So real easy to invite them back soon. Right. And so for the promo on this, keep in mind, so a lot of new players are going to like it because it's a cool looking card, but it is also sought after for more engaged players. And the reasoning behind that is you want to have some of your experienced players here for open house as well.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things we like to say really is it's really about the newer players. That's what we want to be engaging at open house. So get your experienced players to come in and bring a friend to come in, and teach them to play, or just get them to come help you teach other people. We know some of you guys and gals, I should say, are shorthanded. You don't have a lot of staff. So if you can get those customers and players to help, that's even better. And then reward them with one of those cards.
That's right. Yeah. So any participants will be qualified to get one of those. And that is also why we have that standard casual event going with it. So they have something to do, and they can also introduce themselves to the new folks and get them plugged into the community.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. And of course, immediately following the week after on Open House is we have the pre-release, kind of the big show here. Tends to be the most popular format or program rather for most stores.
Yeah, everybody turns up for pre-release. There's no mistaking that.
Yeah, so definitely one you want to sign up for. Really, there's no reason to not on that one. Very high emotion events, and for most stores, you can actually count going right up to capacity on.
Yeah, no, I'd even throw out there that if you don't sign up for pre-release, let us know why. Like, I'd be curious to see why somebody doesn't sign up for pre-release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because for the most part, they are a successful event across the board.
We do have a new feature this time for pre-release.
We do. That's right. Yeah. So we've got the pre-release parties. You guys may have read up on this a little bit. Long story short, this is a casual player list only pre-release event.
Correct. The idea there is some of you end up with extra product at the end of the weekend or end of the day. You kind of divvied it up. Maybe you had 48 allocated for the day, maybe you used 40. And you have a few people that kind of want to come get some product, but they don't have time to sit around for 2-3 hours. This is an opportunity to at least still get it to them in a, approved manner, so to speak.
That's right. A couple notable things on this. So first off, you need to have at least one traditional ranked pre-release event scheduled to qualify for an allocation. That is, if you only have pre-release parties scheduled, you're not going to be on our list to actually get signed up through a distributor to get those pre-release packs.
Very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Additionally, any of the attendance that you report for a pre-release party is not going to count towards your future allocation. So this isn't intended as a way for you to kind of boost those numbers going forward. This really is a way for you to use those excess packs that otherwise would have probably just sat around until release.
Yeah, you still, where you can, want to get somebody engaged in an actual event, an actual structured tournament of some kind, and kind of get them used to kind of how things work and be part of a big release experience. That's really where the fun of the weekend comes from.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And like usual, for pre-release, because this is often going to be the first experience a lot of players are having in your store, efficiency is key. I mean, not only do you want to make a good impression with folks, but because there's going to be higher capacity, you do want to anticipate longer times for registration, getting everyone signed up, getting even the materials passed out. So wise always to have a registration time and a start time set ahead of time.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. When you're talking about open house and pre-release, these are probably going to be two of your largest events of the year or each season that actually get those fresh faces in that don't have an idea of what an event's like or what a structure is like or what even to expect. So you definitely want to make these as positive of an experience as possible, because for a lot of these new players, this is going to be their first time even engaging in any type of organized play.
For sure.
So if you can have your materials ready, you have your space already organized, cleaned up, your seats numbered, all that stuff, like get it prepped ahead of time for sure.
Yeah. I do see here, it looks like we have a question from James Schumann. He's saying, how do I know I will have access until the end of the day or weekend? That would be access to I'm assuming.
It sounds like he's asking about product that he would opt over for the pre-release party.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes you don't know that. I mean,
right.
in a perfect world, you would be using 90% or more of your product that we send to you for your event, and hopefully even your growth product, and really boosting your numbers, and things would be going in that direction, and that's really what we want.
Yeah, so as usual, I mean, pre-registration is going to help with this, essentially kind of seeing how much you're likely to have. But yeah, Jameson got in there correctly. Yeah. This is really for your excess pre-release packs. This is a way for you to utilize those on the pre-release weekend and not have to wait until release. Since, because of course, under the previous model, if you didn't get to 8, you couldn't run it at all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big difference. You can run these with less than 8. All right.
So when we get done with pre-release, we roll into the. Oh, what do you have something else there?
Oh, draft. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess one last thing for the pre-release, the allocation email, I believe, just went out today.
Yes.
For most regions here, so that should be going out. If you do have questions about your allocation, be sure to get it in during the scheduling window. Keep in mind, since the email just went out today, we could be looking at some high volumes for calls coming in. So feel free to lodge a message with us or just call back in another day or two. But you have until November 19th before we lock those in.
Yep. Good point.
All right. But yes, draft weekend.
Yeah, draft weekends become kind of our big kickoff, on release weekend, a bigger organized event. This was the thing that we eventually replaced launch weekend with. and it's actually been really successful. Everybody, turns out people like drafting with the new set. So yeah, definitely something we want to keep pushing. And it's also something too that it's kind of like the first event of the season. You really can kind of showcase for your more experienced players too.
Yeah, we know that right when a set comes out, everyone wants to draft, right? Get in there, kind of explore what the limited format's looking like, and this is your way to offer that, and also have something extra for them, because we will, of course, have the participation promos for anyone that signs up for one of these.
Yeah, and those have actually gone over really well the last couple of sets, so it's definitely something you don't want to miss. And also another thing too, when we're talking about promoting these events, feel free to use the cards that we have up on, maybe put it on a poster in your store or a flyer, or even put it up on your Facebook groups or whatever you use for your social contacts. Make sure people see the rewards in addition to knowing when the events are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, players want goodies, right? Like they love getting those promo materials, but if they don't know about it, it doesn't do much good. Another great example of this would be the buy a box promo, right? Make sure you're making a big deal out of, hey, we've got this promo card. You can only get it from coming to a WPN store like us. So be sure to get your pre-order in today. All right. So, and then, of course, this leads right into Friday Night Magic, kind of our flagship program here for weekend play.
The old dog.
That's right.
Been here for a long time.
Old reliable.
Yep.
Excellent. So just like the previous run here, you are going to be scheduling the entire F&M season during the scheduling window. So that is, you're going to want to schedule every Friday between January 18th and April 19th for the Rivals of Ixalan season there.
Yeah, we seem to have some confusion last season, and the thing I want to remind everybody, this is the way we're going to be doing it going forward. It's for lots of reasons. Hopefully it leads to fewer people missing their F&M signups because you had to do it 3 times in a season last time. Now you just do it at once when you're scheduling everything else. The other is it's also easier for us to just ship it to you. We just ship it once with everything else. So when you go in, you'll see the whole calendar is open for the whole season. Check all those Fridays and get your event scheduled.
For sure. And a couple little tidbits going along with that. Because you're getting all those promos in bulk up front now, it's key that your TOs know that they still only want to give out the designated quantity per week by level, which isn't changing. That's still core is 4, advanced 8, and advanced plus is 16.
Yeah, that's one thing we did hear a few places, a little confused. They're like, hey, I get to give all these away? And it's like, whoa, hold on. That has to last you the whole season.
Excellent. Yeah, and of course, since we're scheduling ahead of time, we know things change as the months go on. So if you need to change format, what have you, give retail support a call. Of course, they'll be happy to do that for you.
Sure, that's an easy fix.
All right. And into our next kind of weekly play program here, we got Magic League. Again, not too much changing on this one.
No, not at all. And, League is another one we talk about as kind of being that first step of creating that habitual play we talked about a little while ago. You want to get those new players used to coming to see you weekly. It's one of those things where you develop that habit. If they come in 2, 3, 4 weeks, then it's kind of like, all right, well, let me swing by the store and see what they're doing, or let me check their website and see if they have anything going on. And you start becoming part of their, their weekly or their monthly play, and even more importantly, you become part of their spending budget. You become part of their entertainment dollars and hours.
They start planning you in.
Yeah, and so this is the place where those new players can really engage at a really basic level. It's not real complicated. It's affordable because you're only buying 3 packs. You play your 10 matches and you get a promo card. So there's still easy ways to get the rewards that are practically guaranteed for these players.
Yeah, and it's a great program because players can play whenever there's other participants in store. It's also really easy to run. I mean, you basically just kind of make sure they have their deck and receive the wins or losses at the end. We are going to have that participation card again for this one. So same rules as last time. It's going to be for players that participate in at least 10 matches. Not win, just participate.
Oh, yeah, and you see a comment here from Chris. He's lamenting not having the boxes for Rivals of Ixalan.
Yes.
We totally understand. Unfortunately, there were just some difficulties in the process there, so we're not going to have them for Rivals, but we will be working to get them back for you for future league programs.
Yep, absolutely.
So, so the boxes haven't disappeared entirely.
That's right. And so, hey, if you can, be sure to let players know that if they've got a box from Ixalan, they can just keep using that forward with Rivals of Ixalan.
Oh, and Jim's busy today. Yeah, so there will not be a mid-season league, actually. Something we tried just for Ixalan, we're not going to have it for Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
So.
For sure. Yeah, and one thing I would say on this is I know that a lot of store owners that I've talked to have been reticent about signing up for this because it runs a little bit differently. They're not used to running it like a normal ranked event. This is it's worth trying because for some stores it actually kicks off and becomes kind of the heart of their organized play program.
It really does for some.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So definitely worth trying. Very low effort endeavor for that one.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is the way to look at it is it's very low effort to move guaranteed product. You know, every person's going to get a minimum of 3. If they play through the season, they're going to buy another 3 packs because they reload every week and get an additional one. And then if they buy any after losses, they're going to get an extra pack then. So, you know, you'll have some players during the course of the league that are probably going to buy 7, 8, 10 boosters, you know, so that's a good way to move product and get dollars through your register.
Definitely.
And people are walking away with cards, so they don't really mind doing it.
Right. All right. And yeah, so for our last of the weekly programs that we're going to have for the Rivals season here, of course, is Standard Showdown. Again, nothing changing with this one. It is a competitive event, so you do kind of want to focus more than you would say on like League or Friday Night Magic on wins and rewarding those players that do perform very well.
Yeah, it looks like we've had a bunch of people kind of step in here the last couple minutes. We just want to call out to everybody that, like, the minute we're done here, be sure to go and schedule. You know, get all your events in. There is a fair amount to cover, but want to make sure nobody misses. You know, with the number of events and things we have going on, it becomes a much bigger problem to take care of you and get stuff out to you if you miss that scheduling window. So it's better to go ahead, get it scheduled, get it in, and then, you know, if something happens the next couple weeks and you need to move a date or whatever, feel free to just call retail support and they'll take care of you.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you want, fire up Wizards Event Reporter right now and do it. You don't have to see our faces. You can just listen to us for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good background there.
Looks like Chris also wants to know, do we know what the next league promo is going to be yet? Yes, we do, but I don't think we've made it public yet.
We have not announced it, so hold
but that's
tight
coming
on that
shortly.
one.
Coming shortly.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess I just need a coming soon label.
Right, cool. And and kind of last note on Standard Showdown, just like with Ixalan, this is going to be any day except Friday that you have available for it. So no need to step on the toes of the other retailers in your area there. You can find a night that works best for you.
Yeah, and that's been really good. You know, we had initial feedback of, just everybody trying to get the events in on the weekend was a little tough. We opened it up during the week, and now people are seeing some really good acceptance among their players in Standard Showdown. So it's really cool. Gives you the opportunity to kind of take advantage of a day where you might already be busier, or even where you're slower and you want to move activity to that day. It gives you a little more flexibility there. And, you don't necessarily have to worry about your competitive players not being there because they're out of PTQ or whatever the case may be, maybe a Grand Prix that weekend. They still come in and play during the week. A lot of times, some are even using it as practice nights, as a small event for whatever they're going to do that weekend.
Yeah. And kind of one more little logistical detail on this here. I had worked with some stores that were a little confused about this, so just want to call out that it is going to be that quantity of Standard Showdown prize packs designated per week by level, and that is 3 for core, 6 for advanced, and 9 for advanced plus. So like F&M, because you're getting these ahead of time, you want to make sure that your TOs are very educated on how many go out per week.
Looks like we have something there from Day. Says the league is awesome, but the players are slowly not showing interest, so the boxes now. Any chance to change the promo? You know what? We're always looking for feedback, honestly. And I know you hear that, but we truly mean it. I'm pretty sure between us and a couple other people on our team, we see every piece of contact, that comes into Wizards about our programs. So yeah, if there's something else you're interested in, shoot us an email. Just say, hey, here's some ideas, or even poll your players and say, hey, what would get you more interested or get you to play League or whatever. And we'll at least talk about it and consider it. I can't promise that it'll become that thing, but, it's definitely information we want to have.
Yeah, you guys know we've changed what we do for promotional and prize materials for our programs. Oftentimes that is based on what we're hearing from retailers and players. So always feel free to let us know if you have ideas. Like Magic MTG League sleeves. I can understand why that would be recommended.
Yeah,
so,
and it's a big deal. Like we're company-wide, we do a lot of surveys, a lot of interest. We visit a lot of stores. I've seen some of you guys comment about us coming to visit this year. But yeah, so all of that information is being taken in with how we shape these programs. Like ultimately, we want them to do as well as possible, and draw as many people through your front door as we can, and ultimately to move more product.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Standard Showdown, great prizes, weekly play. Again, another one that's a good one to sign up for. All right. And brings us to kind of the big new one here that for the Ixalan season, the store championship.
Yes, it's cool. It's an end of season wrap up kind of event, and what's neat about it is we were able to work it out to where not only are we doing something at the end of the season where things might be a little light or a little slower, your players have played through a full season of Grand Prix and RPTQs and whatever, and come to F&M every week. Now you have this cool thing at the end of the season you can kind of wrap everything up and look forward to. But the cool part is all of the prizes actually look toward Rivals.
Yeah.
So that's kind of going to be the thing going forward is your store championship event is going to look toward the next set. So it'll be the first opportunity for people to get things in their hands with artwork and items from that next set.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we have actually already announced the yes. promo that we have for this one. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think it's Galta, right?
The big dinosaur.
Yeah. He's pretty big. He's in fact one of the.
It is a 12-12, one of our larger creatures.
Yep.
Even more importantly, though, is the playmat. That thing is cool. It's the first time I think that we've actually put one of our maps on something that people can take with them. I think the only place maps have appeared before, I think we're on our website and maybe one or two of the art books, maybe.
Right.
So this is the first time a player can actually earn a thing that has the map on it, which is pretty awesome, especially for a new plane like Ixalan.
Yeah, really cool. And that's another one that we've already got the images out there. So check it out on the WPN site if you haven't. Once you're done scheduling, of course.
Again, use those images. Like, show them to your players. If you nothing else, link them to the pieces. Like, make sure people see and have in their mind, like, hey, this is really cool. I got to get one of these things, or this is the only opportunity for me to get one of these deck boxes. Because right now our plan is to make the artwork for these pieces only on these items. We don't really have plans to put it anywhere else. So that's definitely going to be one of the attractions to the program.
Excellent. All right. And and of course it's worth noting. So this program can be standard, draft, or sealed. So between those kind of front list formats there, you can cater to what works best for your community.
Yeah, that's another big thing too. I mean, I know we'd heard previously with game day that multiple people were kind of frustrated that it's only standard and, I may or may not have a standard crowd or what have you. So now we've opened it up. Now you get your option. Some of you are like, hey, is there any chance we could draft for game day? Well, you can definitely draft for store championship. So definitely, if that's what your players are looking for, make sure they know that that's the case and promote it ahead of time and say, hey, look, we're going to be doing a draft event at the end of the season and there's these sweet prizes, and really take advantage of it. We're trying to give you an opportunity to move that front list product, but still appeal to as many players as you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another kind of flexibility that we've added to this program for scheduling. Definitely want to get the word out on this because this was a change. The date range for Store Championship has been opened up from December 25th through December 31st. So you can, in fact, schedule for any day on that. That does even include Friday. That's not something that we typically do, but for this run, given the timing with the New Year holiday, etc., we wanted to give as many available dates as possible.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got Mark in here actually likes the idea of everything pointing toward the future set. Awesome. Right, yeah. We were hoping that was going to be a big appeal for people, so glad that worked. Mm-hmm. Jameson says, let's see, any possibility of a store championship being one sealed and one standard? It's a little fragmenting to his community right now. I think is what he's saying.
Gotcha.
Right? Yeah, that's something to consider. It's one of those things that, we looking at the numbers, the individual game day events weren't necessarily hugely attended. So in some ways, having one big event allows you to focus a little better, get everybody on one day, and kind of build that critical mass. There may be some stores like yours, Jameson, that maybe have different pools of players that both want to participate, but maybe you alternate. One season you do one season you do the other, right. And just try to accommodate your groups as best you can. Now, again, these programs may change as we get extra feedback or, what the results say when, as we get a couple of events in. But yeah, for now, it's definitely still going to be one event and, you just kind of have to choose.
Yeah. And it looks like we got one more. From Javier here. Just recently received a good promotional idea from a regular customer. He told me that he really likes the Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation dice. So why not make looks like a full suite for every new league?
Yeah, this is something that came up previously, and I kind of just want to address this for a second. I do like the idea because I'm a big fan. I like playing D&D as well, but and like having a full set of dice. But the reality is, most of those dice don't really have a meaning or a place in Magic for the most part. So you kind of want promotions that make sense with the products as well. Like, I mean, even the D4s were cool with Amonkhet and Hour because they were pyramids. You know,
Right.
So they kind of had a little appeal. And, you know, a lot of times you were putting the minus counters and you weren't putting more than like 2 of them on something. So it kind of made sense and it fit in. It was cool to do. But, you know, maybe down the road it's something we consider. But right now there's not plans to do, you know, the extra dice because it just doesn't fit the campaigns and the themes, you know, really for what we're doing.
For sure. But hey, thanks for the feedback. Honestly, we'll always make sure to get those to the appropriate teams.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, and back on Store Championship, it is important to note that even though we've opened up the date range for this, it's not necessarily going to look like that in the future. This was a reflection of feedback we got based on the New Year holiday there specifically. And same goes for the materials. We got a brand new suite of materials, and they are super sweet, and we'll be kind of monitoring the response to that to see what we do moving forward.
Yeah, it looks like Geefair is asking, you know, do we know if the F&M promos will be the same going forward effectively? I will tell you, like we're taking in all the feedback on it, and you know, and it's something we are looking into. You know, we've only had them out for 1 set so far, so you know, we really want to let it run 2 cycles and see what we can do. But yeah, can't say 100%. You know, we are always looking into stuff, and we are always looking at ways to make the promos and materials better. So that much I can tell you. So yeah, just keep your ear to the ground, so to speak.
Exactly, yeah. So it is locked in for Rivals
yes.
as far as the token promos go. But just to let you guys know, we have heard your response for this. We know what the general consensus is among retailers, and we'll be taking that into consideration when we work on the next sets here.
For sure.
All right.
Let's see. It says posters or question mark. Looking for more decorations? Question mark. I'm not sure what we're asking here.
Yeah. Well,
will there be more stuff? Yes, you will get a promotional kit.
Yeah. So there will be promotional kits. We don't have the wall displays for this one.
No.
Right, but you will get some sort of promotional advertising.
Actually,
for it.
I think it's safe to tell them we do have some really sweet banner art that we'll be able to share shortly.
Cool.
So,
I'm always.
I have some sitting on my desk and they're really cool looking. So I just wanted to tell people, yes, there's some neat stuff coming.
So real nice. And as usual, hey, we've got artwork up on our digital marketing materials page on the website. We've got some large imagery there. We've got some set specific stuff. So take a look if you need to produce some additional materials. That'll give you a little bit of imagery for that.
Yeah.
All right. And we should mention too the deck boxes for Store Championship. Really cool. One question we've been getting on this a lot is, are they going to be kind of just the little flimsy cardboard ones? No, these are going to be full blown premium plastic.
Cardboard boxes aren't exciting to play for.
They're not. They're functional, but they don't really bring the people out. So these will be higher quality, and they will be plastic deck
Yeah,
boxes.
if you need an example, you know, we have specifically worked with Ultra Pro to produce these. So if you sell any of the other Ultra Pro plastic style boxes, this is going to be the same type with the little flip top. You know, yeah,
very cool. All right, buy a box. It's not on the list. Don't worry about it. You're already signed up for it. We're continuing to move forward with the automatic signups for buy a box.
Yeah, and again, you know, make sure your players know about the buy a box program. You know, we have some people say, oh, well, I don't know. My players didn't know about it, but when I visited stores myself, like, there's no indication. There's nothing on their website. There's nothing on their Facebook page. It's like, you know, let them know. So it's like, hey, I can get this thing if I come buy the product from you.
Yeah. I mean, to be perfectly frank with you guys, for us, it's ideal if a player comes into your store to buy that booster box, and that's why we have the buy a box program. And so, yeah, wherever you can, let them know that this is exclusive to WPN stores. So this is the place to pick up.
I think we got Tony's question right. He
Sure.
said, thanks for the response. All right, cool, awesome. We guessed correctly.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah.
Oh, and there's one more thing to tell people about.
Oh, yeah.
The year-end draft promotion.
Yes, so hopefully you guys have already read up on this and are getting some drafts on the books already. We are actually in the midst of it. Just kicked off this past weekend here. And
yeah, that was actually really good. Actually, thanks everybody for the work you put in on Dino Size Weekend. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those of course count towards this.
Absolutely.
So players are already stacking up those 6 booster drafts that they need to get in at a single store to qualify for 2 standard Showdown booster packs delivered by you in store early next year.
Yeah, and be aware, you don't have to sign up for anything. Your players, all they have to do is make sure their Wizards account is updated and they're playing in your events. That's it. We're tracking everything else from our side. We'll deliver the stuff to you and then get it out your way.
Yeah. And I am glad you mentioned that, Daquan, because this is more of a reason why it's important to emphasize they need to register those Wizards account. Like if they're just using a DCI number that has no name associated to it, they're not going to be able to qualify for this. So be sure to encourage that.
Yeah, and I think Jason was saying we have one playmat, whereas he was used to getting two. Yeah, we realized this was going to be an issue, and kind of like we spoke about a little bit earlier, it was a matter of, how to make one kit better versus having two, also trying to drive people to one event and make it a bigger, more exciting event for each store.
Exactly.
But again, definitely let us know, email us, call us, let us know the feedback after the events happen, because we want to know, and if we need to make adjustments or even find opportunities for you to get additional ones somehow, definitely something we can talk about.
Yeah.
But, we juiced it up with having the better deck boxes, so we want to make sure everybody, now your top 8 all gets a cool thing other than just a promo card.
Right.
And the card that used to be the top 8, which was a rare, we've now made the rare available to everybody that participates,
right.
which is even better to just drive that extra activity. So hopefully your general overall numbers are positive.
Yeah. Yeah, should be just as appealing, if not more, probably, for those top slots there. All right. And so that's pretty much it for all of the big programs we wanted to cover today. Of course, now there's no reason not to schedule. You're fully informed about everything. It looks like we have another question here. You'll be getting 8 deck boxes in the kit for Store Championship.
Oh, there is one more thing.
Yes.
Go schedule.
Yeah,
Get all your stuff in. Please, immediately when we're done here, go schedule your stuff.
That's right. All right. And again, if you've got additional questions, feel free to follow up with me either in the comments here or make a post, what have you. Always happy to help you guys out.
Cool. So we'll give a few seconds here if anybody else has any final questions, any wrap-up stuff. Want to yell at us about anything? Want to compliment us?
We can just hang out while you guys schedule too. If you want to alt-tab over, that's just fine.
I can totally go look and see who all's doing their job and who's not. I can tell. I can dive in and look.
Awesome.
Cool. Looks like that's it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for your time here, guys. Hopefully we'll get more questions for you, and we'll see you again next time.
See you later.